This is a 30-year developers vibe coding live stream session 5. Today we are building a service that finds YouTube trends by category. YouTube shut down its trending page in July 2025, so there's no longer any way to see what's rising in food or travel or any other category. If it doesn't exist, we build it. This is the screen we are building. Pick a category and you get what's trending now and what's newly rising. We start from a single idea, write a spec, write the code, and ship it to the internet. It took 2 hours and 14 minutes. Here's how I start. I tell it, I'm starting a new project. Let's shape it together through discussion. I don't ask it to implement anything. I throw out my idea first and ask it to question the gaps. And it comes back with about 5 questions, all of them decisions that directly affect ranking quality, how to handle shorts, how to split domestic and overseas, what to do with videos we can't classify. My answers are short. Mix shorts in but multiply by a correction factor. Track Korean channels only. Videos that match no keyword get dropped from the rankings. Those 3 lines become decisions D8, D9, and D10 in the spec. Then more questions. What's the cap on tracked channels? Should the repository be public? Cap at 2000 graduate channels with no uploads for 30 days and the repo goes public. The method I use is spec-driven development. Write the spec, write the plan, settle the design, break it into tasks. This keeps vibe coding from drifting somewhere you didn't intend. Checking the direction before you proceed, that's one of the most important rules. Time to name the project. YouTube Trend Tracer, create the directory, move the spec into its docs folder. When you hand work to an assistant, it helps to settle where and what first. One thing here, you need to agree on whether the overall direction is right. Details you can fix later once you see them, but the direction has to be aligned from the start. You can build a page like this without writing a single line of code. I run these streams because it bothers me that such an easy path exists and people aren't using it. My company runs on a closed network with heavy restrictions, but even there, my juniors are slowly opening up to it. The plan lays out the architecture and milestones. GitHub Actions queries the YouTube API 3 times a day and loads Supabase, and the front end only reads from Supabase. 7 milestones from M0 setup to M6 launch. Now a request from me. Supabase already holds tables from my last project. I ask it to rewrite everything with a UT prefix so nothing collides. UT channels, UT videos, a trend, scores, 7 tables in all. The plan uses the word Monorepo. If you don't know it, just ask. A strategy for keeping several project source code in a single repository, it says. We used to study first and then build. Now, when there's something I don't know, it's enough to look up what the AI proposed, understand it, and make the decision. Before we implement anything, we look at a UI mockup. The UI is what the user actually has to live with, so this review matters. We just made the .env file, so let's pause on it. .env stays on your machine and must never reach Git. Always check that it's in Gitignore. If it leaks, you get compromised. The schema SQL is ready, so we take it to Supabase, paste it into the SQL editor, run it, and the tables appear. From now on, this is where the data lands. Supabase gives you Postgres for free, like the Oracle databases people use at work. Here, you just create your tables and go. We also check Claude.md. Think of it as the constitution of this project. These are the most basic rules the code follows. So if something doesn't match how you work, ask for it to be changed. On a team, this is the file you agree on together. Here's the mockup. Teal as the base and the rising score gets its own amber, no YouTube red. 4 boards laid out 2 by 2 on desktop. I don't know design well, so I'm happy with this and moving on, but that's a statement about method, not about being uncritical. For a real customer facing service, you'd go much deeper here. I covered the screen here for a moment. I was pasting real keys into .env. On a live stream, that's a section you simply hide. After entering the keys, I ask it to verify again whether the schema really landed, whether the YouTube API key is alive. When you do something outside the session, tell it and get it checked. And we hit an error. SSL certificate verification failed. This Python build doesn't use the Mac system certificates and wants its own bundle. Pointing it at Certify fixed it. Write down troubles like this and they become study material. Let's lay out the structure once. UI on Vercel, source on GitHub, database on Supabase, batch jobs on GitHub Actions. All 4 start on free tiers. Actions pulled from the YouTube API into Supabase and users read that data through the Vercel front end. This side reads and writes, this side only reads. With this shape, you can run the service at 0 cost until you actually have users. When something is hard to explain in words, ask for a diagram. It produced an architecture diagram as an artifact. You can set this running and work on something else in parallel. Here's an important moment. It reported progress through M4, but nothing had actually been done. It turned out I had another project window open beside it and it got confused. Sometimes this thing bluffs. Treat it like a very capable new hire who also wants an easy day and always verify. Take what it says at face value and it will burn you later. we create a virtual environment, a place to keep the packages this project alone needs. You can vibe code without knowing the syntax, but knowing it helps a lot. In territory you don't know, you can't even form a guess. Right before the M0 commit, we check that .env and the venv folder haven't been dragged into the commit. Verified, then committed. 55 minutes in, our first commit. From M1 on, we write the test first. Write the classifier test, run it, and of course it fails. Then implement the classifier, run it again, and make it pass. That order is test-driven development. Doing it this way stops a rule from quietly breaking later. The test watches what a person's eyes would miss. I asked casually and it answered casually back. There's research on this. Polite phrasing works slightly better than casual, and being decisive works better than being vague. Now we discover seed channels per category. The search API costs 100 units per call, so it runs on a budget. We collected 98 channels. Then we check the channels are actually alive using their RSS feeds. RSS costs no quota at all. We cleared out 21 channels that had gone quiet. Now the heart of it, the trend score. We take the increase in views and divide it by the elapsed time and the subscriber count, with the subscribers raised to alpha. The now trending board uses alpha 0.25, so scale still counts. The newly rising board uses alpha 1, which makes it views per subscriber. Honestly, this scoring formula is where the real expertise sits. I used to work at a securities firm, and anyone there has their own scoring formula. I don't know the YouTube domain well, so for now I go with what it recommends. Anyone can pull the data through an API. What insight you extract from that data, that's your own professional know-how. For someone vibe coding in the AI era, that's the part that matters most. Here I change the order. The collection, pipeline, and the scoring don't have to run in sequence. When two pieces can run independently, just tell it to do them in parallel. Having development knowledge does help, but I think the concept has flipped. It's no longer study first, then try. It's try and study what blocks you. AI is moving so fast that studying to catch up is simply too slow. Better to study alongside what the AI puts in front of you and widen your territory as you go. If you decide you can't start because you haven't studied, you will never start. Let's run a collection, 98 channels, 318 videos, 9 units of quota. Out of 10,000 a day, we used 9. And the data is in the tables. The vibe coding domestic category was matched by these keywords, and the channels come in like this. Our tables are actually filling up. Let me explain why we split this into server and client. Imagine going out to YouTube and running the formula every time a user makes a request. It would be far too slow. So we do that work in advance. The batch collects and computes 3 times a day, and the screen only reads the results. Before the web, we called it client server, but the idea is the same. Nobody is going to wait for you. An hour and 34 minutes in, we finally have a screen. Up to this point, you can't visually confirm that any of it is right. It's a slightly tedious stretch. Of course, it would be nice to throw something together and show it immediately, but then fixing it later becomes agony. That's exactly why defining the spec, the plan, and the tasks upfront matters so much. When you get a result you didn't want, the useful thought isn't that the AI is stupid, it's that the two of you never agreed on this. Directed well, it's a genuinely good tool. So, to summarize, at the start, don't ask for implementation. Focus on nailing the spec through discussion. Spec, then plan, then UI design, then break it into fine-grained tasks. After that, you just work through them one by one. Before pushing to GitHub, we run a security review. Sharing to Git is effectively publishing to the entire internet. Git ignore already excludes the secrets, but I have it checked once more. A viewer suggested this on a previous stream and I adopted it. Push a commit records to your own machine. A push sends it up to GitHub. The README explains what the service is. I always keep two, English and Korean. Looking at what went up, no.inf, only the example file, which means anyone can fill in these keys and run it. Actions reports the collection job succeeded too. Normally you check locally first and then ship. Today live on stream I got impatient and did it backwards. That's my own basic rule and I broke it. We bring the screen up locally, click the vibe coding category and channels appear. Fitness and food each give their own. Categories live in a config file, so you can add one without touching the code. Now we deploy to Vercel. Localhost is only visible on my machine. Once it's on Vercel, it's public on the internet. The address is live. It responded slowly for a second and I panicked, but it comes up fine. Anyone can now visit this URL. What we built in 2 hours is a service on the internet. Let me share one opinion. Test it on a free tier first and move to paid only when you're convinced it will land with users. I'm against putting money in recklessly in small business terms. That's opening the shop before you know anyone wants the food. Build the hypothesis into a service, confirm the response, and then invest. As I'm about to wrap up, CI is red. I capture the screen and ask what's going on. When you don't know, just ask. The cause was the lockfile. It was generated on a Mac, so the install failed on Linux. Things that run fine locally can break once deployed. You just work through them together. Sometimes it can't fix something. When that happens, rather than deciding it's stupid, it's more useful to assume you haven't given precise enough direction. That CI you keep seeing is continuous integration, the merging, building, and testing on a regular cadence. CD is continuous delivery. Write, commit, push, build, test, deploy, monitor. Those stages are what we call CI/CD. And it passes. From here, the collection runs automatically 3 times a day and the data accumulates. That's where today's stream ends. In 2 hours and 14 minutes, we went from a single idea through spec, plan, and design, past 6 milestones, onto GitHub and out to the internet. The scores need 2 weeks of cold start data before they mean anything. I'll check back then. Thanks to everyone who joined and left comments. This was 50 Vibe Blog.
읽고 걷고 기록하고 코딩하고 걷는 속도로 쌓는 하루 함께 읽고 걷고 자랐나요?